So welcome back to another edition of the MSP Hot Seat. With me today, I've got Morrelle McCrary, owner of Ramtech PC Solutions. Welcome to the hot seat.
Hey man, thanks. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. I think we've met a couple of times. Maybe it's some Ask You Robin Robbins events across the last couple of years.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, really excited to have you on here. And so without further ado, we'll jump right in. First job and a lesson that you learned that you still think applies today in your business.
Oh, wow. All right. So my first job was, I turned 15 and I was that guy that wanted to just jump in and work right away. I wanted a car and I wanted all these fancy clothes at age 15. And, like I look at my kids today and they are not as motivated as I was. They're like, Dad, just give me some money. But yeah, my first job was Winn-Dixie. I started as a part-time bagger. I was bagging groceries. That's where I started. But that really instilled in me, the customer service aspect of it, taking care of the customer, making sure they can find everything they wanted on aisle 10 and 12 and all that. So that's kind of where it started. They promoted me to a part-time stock clerk manager. So I managed like the high school guys. We were, 5 or 6 of us at a time. And, I got to manage early on. So, I'm 16 years old managing a part-time stock crew.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun back then because it's like you're with your friends, generally speaking.
Right. There's always a leader in the pack, and they always put me in trouble, and I always, they got me out of trouble too. So
there you go.
Two-way street. And
so what was your first car? Because you mentioned the car was one of the motivations.
You had to bring that up, right?
I had to.
I had a 1992 Toyota Tercel, and
okay.
I was that kid. I had the bump in the trunk,
Okay. Yep.
They could hear me coming to work before I even got there. So,
that's hilarious.
That's just a phase we go through.
Yep, absolutely. That's hilarious. So no, it's always fun to know people's kind of original origin story of where they started. So what's been some of the biggest challenges your customers have been bringing to you around the remote work environment?
So, I mean, that's really been an easy one for us. We use platforms and systems that provide our business owners remote access to their network or remote access to their data, no matter where they are, because that's, if we can make the business owner happy, we can make everybody happy, basically. Yeah. So they've always had the functionality, but it was a crash course learning process for all the employees that have to do it. The functionality has always been there. We had all the right tools in place. They just never used it because they forced them to be in the office every day. So we saw a drastic change with that. That was huge. We went from a call volume of about, 500 calls a day on average to about 700 or 800 calls a day. So it was crazy for, first couple of weeks of pandemic. Pandemonium is what we call it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good to hear that you guys transitioned up. It sounds like relatively easy. So
we point and pivot like crazy around here. Every day is never the same around here. So
that keeps it fun and interesting. So
yeah, you never know what you're walking into.
Exactly. So when I decide on who to try to invite on here, sometimes it's just I saw you on LinkedIn everywhere, so you're posting all kinds.
I'm trying to flood it, man.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the things I noticed from it as well, I mean, some of them were very strictly business, but then I think you were on a trip with your daughter or something, and you posted that, so you're bringing in a little bit more of your own personality in your personal life, and even which I thought was really cool, is also including your employees in some of these things. So it wasn't just you had some other people. I guess take us kind of around the mentality of how that started and where it's going with for you.
So I got to give a shameless book plug here. I read a book called Video Marketing for MSPs by Scott Millar. Or Miller is how he pronounces it, but it's Millar, which anyway, that's weird. But I read that book, and one of the challenges in the book was, do a go live video or do a video every day for 30 days and see if you can do it. Just do it,
Yeah.
I'm a challenge guy. Somebody gives me a challenge and there's nothing getting in the way of me making that happen, I'm going to make it happen. So I did it. People have always told me, Morrelle, you should really do commercials. You should do ads. So I have a degree in marketing and a degree in computer networking. So both of those kind of like clicked for me. So then I started talking on camera one day, and it just evolved into doing videos every day. And, you know, it's kind of crazy now. I'm in Publix, I was in Publix the other day, and a lady walks up to me and she goes, I know you from somewhere. You're that guy from Facebook. I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, that video you did about the #1 hires or whatever, that was a good video. So, I mean, people notice you that, you know, you don't think are noticing you. And the biggest piece of that is trying to be human in the videos too, right? I want to show people that there's a human inside here. Like this is an IT brain and marketing engine, but there's a human side of this thing. And, you know, part of the book that say you too, like when you start doing these everyday videos and you start talking to people on camera, they get a sense of relationship with you. Like you build their trust without even knowing them. So with the whole pandemic and, you know, I'm not able to go to network meetings. I'm not able to shake hands. And I'm not able to get out in public and tell people who we are and what we do. This was my alternative.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from reaching a crowd of maybe 25 to 30 people in a networking environment to thousands of people at one time.
Yeah. That's the power.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And I mean, and this is, whether it's an MSP listening or other business owners, I mean, this thing you're talking about is applicable across industries.
Yeah, any industry.
You know, and I think you hit on some important things. So one, because I was already thinking about a story I was going to share, which is similar to what you're saying, which is that woman came up to you. You know, not everybody engages in terms of like commenting or liking on a video. Right. So there's people you have no idea are listening to your stuff, that all of a sudden, I almost guarantee you're going to have a thing where somebody's going to come to you for your MSP business, and you're not going to even know they ever were watching your videos. And it's and that whole business relationship started from that video, and you will have no idea until they actually present themselves and they're ready for MSP services. And so that, you know, that's a great lesson. You've already kind of experienced it with somebody coming up to you at Publix.
Let me tell you, that actually came to true life story yesterday.
Oh, it's already happened. Okay.
A customer that, you know, we've used them for like electrical stuff here at the office, and they install lights and stuff for us, but they were emailing and just sending out, you know, content. And I said, hey guys, tweak this, you know, do it this way. And next thing I know, I had a booking on my calendar for them to come have an IT consult. So I did that just yesterday.
Wow, that's awesome.
I've had 3 other people enter my pipeline just by doing those videos.
That's so cool. And I think you also hit on a really important point about the humanization with video. And, you know, I kind of been making this joke, if people have heard it before, but it's not really a joke. It's just the idea that like my wife's behind that door. My dog is right behind here. Anything could happen right now, right? Like, but it humanizes you. I mean, if my dog ends up showing up in the video, it's a talking point. We can talk about how I got a puppy during COVID. You know what I mean? But it does. It allows you to have that human interaction that we're not getting, you know,
right now
we would typically have in person. So
let me tell you, man, people, you know, I could talk about IT stuff all day, left and right. I could talk about gigabytes and terabytes and, you know, gigabit networks and firewalls, and nobody wants to hear all that.
Yeah.
You know, when I take my truck in to get serviced, I tell them what it's doing or what's wrong. I don't need to know all the 2,000 parts in that truck. I just need to trust you that you can fix it.
Yep.
And that's the biggest piece, is I'm building trust with the videos.
Yeah. And now I'm going off because now I see the Star Wars thing in their background, and I'm curious if that has been strategically placed there as a conversation starter.
You'd be surprised how often the Star Wars here and Real Men Wear Pink here, you'd be surprised how many conversations get started from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing a Baby Yoda.
Look at Baby Yoda. I'm a 77 baby, so Star Wars was born when I was born. You know?
There you go. Very cool.
You're all right, deep in this, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was looking on your website. You have this testimonial. We had a customer talk about being put in email jail. That was their word for it. Can you kind of just walk us through what happened with that client? You know, getting that virus and what you guys were able to do for them.
So essentially, that customer is Gia Jakowski. She's been a customer of ours for a long time. What happened was her domain ended up on a blacklist, several blacklists actually. And we had to go through the process. We had to clean up the virus that was sending out, you know, the fake emails from their domain. So we
Yep.
cleaned up all the computers, put in some really good software tools for her to use, put in some email security pieces with Microsoft 365. And once we got all that mitigated, then we were able to go into those blacklist agencies and, you know, open a claim and say, hey, look, you know, they're clean. We cleaned them. We certified them, blah, blah, blah. And that process, I mean, it took down even the copy machine. They couldn't even make copies and fax out and email out. I mean, it was really a nightmare for them. I mean, business came to a screeching halt. That was one of the lessons we learned too about businesses. They can't survive without internet. They can't survive without email, and they can't survive without phones. So as long as we cover those basic three, we have a customer that stays with us for life. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, you know, having backup and things like that for that kind of, because I mean, people freak out when their internet goes down for 5 minutes.
Right.
You can only imagine what, you know, as a business owner, you know, how scary something like that would have been.
Well, I mean, I had a customer of ours tell us if the internet goes out longer than an hour, we have lost almost $50,000. I was like, $50,000 in an hour, that's a lot of money to lose.
Yeah.
You know, so we put them with two failover solutions in there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see why that would help mitigate that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always try to like also bring again the personal side into this.
Right.
So maybe, I mean, and you can answer this however you want, but just maybe one thing that your customers and prospects wouldn't know about you.
Oh, that they wouldn't know about.
It's a very broad question.
That's a good one. I mean, I'm pretty transparent. You know, a lot of people know that. I don't, if I see something or feel a certain way, they know it because I've either said it or said it out loudly. You know, one thing that I did a video on it too. I'm negatively motivated, right? So when somebody tells me, Morrelle, you won't be able to do that. You can't do that. Why would you do that? You know, and if it's something that I've got my mindset on, I'm going to go achieve it. I'm going to go do it, you know? You know, marketing and IT, like I said earlier, those things jazz me. That's what wakes me up, you know? And I stick to 3 favorite quotes that I have. I don't know them all by heart, so I got them written down here. Go the extra mile. There's no one on it. That's a Grant Cardone one. I like that one.
Nice. Yeah.
You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. That's Zig Ziglar right there. And the last one is Zig as well. If you aim at nothing as a target, you will hit it every time. So that's what people, I'm a quote geek like that. I like those things and those things motivate me. So that might be something that people didn't know.
No, very cool. No, I appreciate you sharing that. Now you got me thinking about quotes. I'm going to give a quote too. So this is to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. And this is from Steve Prefontaine, a famous long distance runner. He used to run. He was a front runner because he felt like that was the only way to know that you gave your all, because you weren't hanging back to try to catch somebody. You just went. Right. So I always love that quote as well. And I'm probably aging myself.
I'm hanging back. I've got a spotter. Like, that's my person.
Yeah.
As long as I pass the finish line, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. But oh man, this has been so much fun. We definitely have to chat again. I'll have to get you to come on one of our LinkedIn live panels that we do.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Man. Appreciate it.